The tension backstage at America's Got Talent was palpable. Contestants shuffled nervously, clutching their props and hoping their big moment would finally arrive. Amidst the chaos, a small Filipino girl, barely taller than the stage's microphone stand, stood with a quiet determination in her eyes. Her name was Mia, and though her frame was tiny, her presence felt larger than life. Dressed in a simple pink dress and wearing her hair neatly braided, she clutched a worn sheet of music with trembling hands. The cameras hadn't yet captured her, but the production team whispered among themselves, sensing that this audition would be unforgettable. In the green room, fellow contestants peeked curiously at her, unable to hide their awe. "She looks so young," murmured one. "I wonder what she's going to do." Yet in her eyes, they saw a spark that spoke of talent far beyond her years. As the host's voice echoed through the stage, announcing Mia's name, the audience erupted in polite applause, the kind reserved for young children. But Mia's eyes were fixed on the judges' table, particularly on Simon Cowell. There was an intensity in her gaze that made even seasoned audience members pause. Simon, known for his critical ear and notoriously tough demeanor, raised an eyebrow, his curiosity piqued. As she walked to the center of the stage, the floor seemed to almost shrink beneath her small feet. A hush fell over the crowd. The bright stage lights made her squint momentarily, but she didn't falter. Her voice, when it finally emerged, was a gentle tremor, full of emotion. But as the first notes of her song spilled into the theater, even the most cynical viewers felt their hearts tugged. It was raw, vulnerable, yet filled with a maturity that defied her age. Mia's performance was more than just singing. It was storytelling. Each note she hit resonated with a depth that belied her 7 years. She sang a song her grandmother used to sing to her when she was homesick in Manila, a melody filled with longing, hope, and resilience. Her voice wavered at the beginning, but with each line it grew stronger, more commanding, yet never losing its tender quality. The judges leaned forward, mesmerized. How could someone so young carry so much emotion? Simon's hand unconsciously moved to his chin, his trademark skepticism slowly melting into something unrecognizable. The camera captured the audience swaying, some with tears welling up in their eyes. Whispers of amazement spread like wildfire. "She's only 7 and she's singing like that?" The song's crescendo approached and Mia, eyes glistening, gave everything she had, pouring her heart and soul into the final note. As the last note lingered in the air, silence enveloped the theater. It was a silence thick with awe, the kind that makes you hold your breath, afraid to break the magic. And then, as if on cue, the applause erupted, not just polite claps, but roaring, thunderous ovation. Tears streamed down faces in the audience, and Simon Cowell, usually reserved and composed, was visibly moved. His tough exterior softened, and for the first time in front of millions, he wiped his eyes, struggling to speak. That was extraordinary," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. The other judges joined in, faces glowing with admiration. "You've got a gift," one judge said, voice shaking. "And it's the kind of gift that changes lives." Mia's cheeks turned crimson, her small frame trembling from emotion and excitement. In that moment, the stage was hers, and she had captured the hearts of everyone present. Then came the moment no one expected, the golden buzzer. Simon, his voice choked with emotion, reached out and pressed it, sending Mia into a whirlwind of shock and joy. The stage erupted in confetti and cheers, but Mia's reaction was pure and unfiltered. She clasped her hands to her face, her eyes sparkling with tears of disbelief. I didn't expect this," she whispered, almost to herself. Simon stood and smiled genuinely, a rare sight, and said, "You've reminded all of us why we do this. Talent like yours, it deserves to shine." Backstage, her parents wept openly, holding each other tightly as they watched their little girl achieve a dream they had nurtured since she first sang in their Manila living room. Social media would later explode with clips of this performance, calling it one of the most emotional moments in AGT history, inspiring millions worldwide. Long after the lights dimmed and the audience dispersed, the echoes of Mia's voice lingered in the theater. Judges replayed the performance in their minds, unable to shake the emotional impact. Simon Cowell, often seen as the hardest critic in entertainment, was reminded that raw, unpolished talent, paired with heart, can transcend experience, cynicism, and expectation. Mia, meanwhile, returned to her family, clutching her golden buzzer memento, her young heart swelling with pride and gratitude. For her, the stage was never about fame. It was about connection, expression, and sharing a piece of her soul. That night, millions around the world watched a little Filipino girl transform a competition stage into a testament of hope, proving that age is no barrier to greatness, and that sometimes the smallest voices leave the loudest echoes.